Just like on Black Friday, once it's gone, and citizenship opportunity in Portugal is flying out the door faster than the latest superhero collectible. Now here's a phrase I use with every single client who comes to me considering pursuing a second citizenship. The best time to start was 2 years ago. The second best time is now. But you know what? Thanks to a recent change in the law in Portugal, the best time to start was 6 years ago. Because if you'd started 6 years ago, you'd be a Portuguese citizen right now. Instead, you're watching this video thinking about maybe possibly someday starting your Portugal journey. Well, congratulations. You just went from needing 5 years to needing 10. The Portuguese Parliament approved sweeping changes to their nationality law yesterday. The final vote is in 4 days, and it's expected to pass and land on the president's desk, where he has indicated he will sign it. And here's the brutal truth no one else is going to tell you. There is no grace period. Zero. None. If you're sitting on the fence about Portugal, about any visa, about any residency program, this is what happens when you wait. The rules change, the timelines extend, and you're left holding nothing but regrets and a Wikipedia page about how it used to be easier. And this isn't just Portugal. Immigration timelines are tightening across Europe and the world, from golden visa programs ending to language requirements becoming mandatory for EU citizenship. The entire landscape is shifting, and it's shifting fast. I'm Brad from Evolution Expats. I've spent a decade helping people jump on good visa and citizenship opportunities, and today we're breaking down exactly what just passed and what it means for you, and why, if you're serious about any international move, the only cure for regret is action. Stay informed of future changes by subscribing and hit that notification bell. Let's go. October 24th, 2025. Portugal's Parliamentary Committee on Constitutional Affairs just approved a complete overhaul of the country's naturalization law. The final vote happens October 28th, where it needs 116 out of 230 deputies to pass. The Socialist Party will vote against it. The Chega Party hasn't committed. Could it fail? Sure. Should you bet your future on it? Absolutely not. Because here's what I've learned after working with hundreds of clients. Hope is not a strategy. And let me address something right now because I know the comments are coming. Evolution Expats believes that these changes are fundamentally good. I don't care if that's unpopular. Portugal is addressing a legitimate concern from their population about integration and fraud. They're rewarding people who demonstrate genuine interest in Portuguese culture instead of passport shoppers. Not everyone will agree with me. Fine. But after a decade in this business, I'll tell you what I tell all of my clients. Countries that require real integration create better outcomes for everyone. If you just want a passport with no commitment to the country, you'll end up unhappy and dissatisfied with your move. Now, let's review the changes under the new law. Change number 1, residency requirements doubled or more. Current requirement is 5 years of legal residency. The new requirement is 10 years for general applicants, 7 if you're from a CPLP country, that's the Community of Portuguese Language Countries, or an EU member state. And no, that does not include the UK post-Brexit. You're in the 10-year bucket. But here's the part that's going to hurt. The clock starts when your residence permit is issued, not when you applied. Portugal's processing times are already legendary. People are waiting 2 to 3 years just to get temporary residency approved. So your 10-year timeline could actually be 12 or 13 in practice. Let's do the math. If you're sitting there right now thinking, I'll move to Portugal in a couple of years when I'm ready, you're looking at starting your clock in 2027 and getting citizenship in 2037. You'll be 10 years older, your kids will be 10 years older, and you'll spend that entire decade wishing you got started today. The best time to start was 6 years ago. The second best time is right now. Not next year, not when you feel ready. Now. Change number 2. New integration tests are required. You will now need to pass formal tests on the Portuguese language, Portuguese culture, Portuguese history, and national symbols. Is this harder? Yes. Is it unreasonable? No. And frankly, if you can't discuss Portugal's history or speak Portuguese, what business do you have becoming a Portuguese citizen? These tests separate people who want to be Portuguese from people who want a Portuguese passport. Evolution Expats' position is that this is a good policy, and this mirrors what we are seeing globally. Countries like Austria, Germany, Mexico, Japan, and the Netherlands all require language proficiency, and the integration tests for naturalization. Portugal is joining the European and world trend toward genuine integration requirements instead of just collecting residency years. But here's the strategic point. If you start now, you have 7 to 10 years to learn Portuguese and integrate into the culture. If you wait another 2 years to think about it, you're compressing that timeline and making it harder on yourself. Every month you wait is a month you could have been learning the language. Change number 3, proof of self-sufficiency. You need to demonstrate means of subsistence. Translation, prove you can support yourself without relying on Portuguese social programs. This is completely reasonable. Portuguese taxpayers have a legitimate concern about people immigrating specifically to access benefits. If you can't support yourself, then citizenship isn't the right path, period. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'll be financially stable in a few years, great. Start the residency process now and get financially stable while your clock is running. Waiting until you're ready just delays your entire timeline. Change number 4, a clean criminal record with stricter standards. No convictions for crimes with a 2+ year possible sentence, much stricter than before. If this disqualifies you, we can have a different conversation entirely. Number 5, citizenship revocation for serious crimes. If you're naturalized and then convicted of serious crimes such as terrorism, drug trafficking, human trafficking, within 10 years of acquiring citizenship, you can lose it through a judicial order. Not automatically, it requires court proceedings and includes protections against statelessness. Critics call this a 2-tier citizenship, but the government says that it addresses constitutional issues and ensures accountability. Evolution Expats view? If you're committing terrorism or trafficking humans, citizenship revocation is a fantastic consequence. Now here's where this goes from concerning to catastrophic for people who waited. There is no transitional regime, no grace period, and no grandfather clause. The Socialist Party proposed protections that would have given current residents and pending applicants grace periods into 2026. It was rejected. Constitutional law expert Jorge Miranda calls this inadmissible. It doesn't matter. It's happening anyway. In plain English, if you're at year 4 of your 5-year countdown, tough. You now need 10 years in total. If your naturalization application is pending under the 5-year rule, nobody knows yet if you're protected. Zero clarity. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say the best time to start was years ago. People who started their Portugal journey in 2019 are citizens right now. People who waited to see how things developed, they're now facing a 10-year timeline. And this isn't unique to Portugal. This is how immigration law works everywhere. Rules change, windows close, countries tighten up. The people who win are the people who moved fast. The people who lose are the people who waited for perfect conditions. There's no such thing as perfect conditions. There is only now and later always costs more. What do you do with this information? Because information without action is just entertainment. If you're currently in Portugal on temporary residency, calculate your real timeline from when you got your permit, not when you applied. Add 7 to 10 years as applicable based on your country of origin. That's your citizenship eligibility date. If that doesn't work, we need to discuss alternatives. Start your Portuguese language courses today, not next month, not when you're settled, today. Enroll in cultural programs. Document your ties to Portugal. When these integration tests become mandatory, you want to pass on the first attempt, not fail and add more delays. Ensure your financial documentation is bulletproof. Self-sufficiency means verifiable, sustainable income. Fix it now if it's not. If you're planning to move to Portugal, adjust your expectations immediately. Portugal is no longer a quick citizenship. If that was your primary goal, book a consultation because we need to discuss whether Portugal is even the right strategy for you or if you should be looking at alternative EU pathways. Maybe Portugal's D7 visa was your plan, but 10 years doesn't work for you. Maybe you were considering the golden visa before it ended and now you're reconsidering citizenship strategy entirely. That's where a comprehensive approach across multiple countries becomes essential, because the right answer for you might not be Portugal. Stop planning and start executing. Nobody is ever quite ready. The people who succeed make decisions and execute. The people who fail endlessly research and never move. Now, if you have a pending naturalization application, get legal advice ASAP. The lack of transitional protection creates massive uncertainty. You need to know if your application might be grandfathered or if you're in legal limbo. Document everything. Your timeline, your submissions, your proof of residency from day one. Because if this turns into a legal fight over transition protections, documentation wins. Now for everyone watching this, the final vote is October 28th, 4 days from this recording. It could still fail. Are you going to bet your entire future on maybe it fails, or are you going to start operating like it will pass and have a real strategy? Because here's the truth. Even if this specific law fails, the trend is clear. Immigration is tightening globally. Portugal is not unique. Golden visas are disappearing across Europe. Digital nomad visas are getting stricter. Every country that opened up during the pandemic is now reconsidering those policies. The window is closing not just in Portugal, but everywhere. And if you're still sitting on the fence without any international move planned, understand this. Every day you wait could have been a day you were running your clock. And let me tell you something that's going to be unpopular in expat Facebook groups. Portugal is doing the right thing. When I analyze immigration programs, and I've studied 68 countries in depth for my digital nomad visa guide, the most successful programs balance openness with integration. Portugal became a passport mill. People wanted Portuguese citizenship to live in other countries of Europe, not to be Portuguese. They didn't learn the language, or study the history, or invest in the future of its people. These changes fix that. They say, if you want to be Portuguese, actually be Portuguese, learn our language, know our history, contribute to our economy, and integrate into our society. Is 10 years a long time? Yes. Is it unreasonable? Absolutely not. Spain and Switzerland require 10 years for most applicants. Italy can take longer than that in practice. Germany has tough integration requirements. But here's what most people don't know. Some Latin American countries offer shorter timelines with easier integration paths. This is why citizenship strategy isn't about one country. It's about finding the right fit for your situation and your timeline. The difference is Portugal is being honest about it instead of advertising 5 years and delivering 8 due to processing delays. The native Portuguese population has legitimate concerns about rapid immigration. These reforms address them. If you're mad about longer timelines or integration tests, ask yourself, do you want to be Portuguese or just have the passport for travel? There's a massive difference, and Portugal wants the first group. And look, I get it. People hear 10 years and panic, but here's what nobody else is telling you. If you start now, you'll be a Portuguese citizen in 10 years. If you wait 2 more years to think about it, you'll be a Portuguese citizen in 12 years. The timeline doesn't get shorter by waiting. It only gets longer. Don't be that person. Here's where we separate people who want results from people who want to keep researching forever. At Evolution Expats, you won't hear the platitudes and policy debates you'll see in expat Facebook groups. We analyze and deal with the laws as written to develop solutions that work. Our videos and guides are complete strategic analysis tailored specifically to your situation, your timeline, your goals, and your constraints. We will analyze your eligibility under current and potential new rules, calculate your real timeline, identify if there's any transition protection, and build a complete strategy, whether it's Portugal's new 10-year timeline, Spain's citizenship by residency, or an alternative golden visa after Portugal and some other countries have ended theirs. We even have a digital nomad visa to citizenship pathway for people who are interested. We analyze all your options and build the roadmap that you actually can execute on. The changing landscape in Portugal demonstrates this. You need someone who understands the entire global picture. Portugal doubled their timeline, ended golden visas, and mandated language tests. This is part of the global trend. And if Portugal just became less attractive to you, you need to know what else is out there. My digital nomad visa guide is over 1,300 pages and covers 68 countries plus Denmark as a bonus. The link is in the description. And here's something critical no matter where in the world you have your sights set on. Whether you move to Portugal or anywhere else, you need your documents in order now. I have an entire content series on document hygiene, how to get birth certificates, how to get apostees, why you should keep your expired passports, all of the bureaucratic foundations you need before you apply for anything. Start watching that today because getting documents together takes time, and that clock is ticking while you are waiting. Here's the wrap up. The vote is in 4 days, but even if it fails, the trend is clear. Immigration is tightening globally. The easy paths are disappearing, and every single day you wait is a day you could have been closer to your goal. The best time to book this consultation was 6 years ago. The second best time is right now. Click the link below and book your consultation. Get our digital nomad visa guide, watch the document hygiene series. Stop researching and start executing, because the only thing worse than starting late is never starting at all. Action is the only cure. Before you go, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I break down immigration law changes as they happen because in this industry, information has an expiration date. Comment below, are you going to adjust your Portugal timeline or are you rethinking your entire European strategy? You're not alone. I'm Brad with Evolution Expats. Let's get started, and I will see you in our next video.